My name's Dr. Grace Bonareri Mose Okongo. Okongo is my husband. I am born and grown in Kisii community. I went to school at Kenyatta University. Then after a while, I realized that I needed to do a women empowerment program. I ended up doing women's studies, gender studies at the State University of New York. My career is really all about women issues. I do teach at Kenyatta University in the Department of Gender and Development Studies. I have had a chance to work in the US, I will say more than 10 years in the advocacy programs. One of the programs that I worked for is a non-profit organization called Family Planning Advocates, which empowers women really. It advocates for policies that are helping women to access reproductive health care. And I also had a chance to work as a lecturer at a faculty at the State University of New York. I was also able to work for another organization. In fact, it was the first career that I did, working as a hotline director for New York State Coalition Against Domestic Violence, which is an organization that basically looked at issues of women who are abused and helping them access services in New York. I also had a chance to work with the Assemblywoman Barbara Clark. It's an equivalent of a member of parliament here in Kenya. So looking at my career of empowering women abroad, I realized that the skills that I was having or I had acquired in New York were actually needed in Kenya more than even in New York. Because I am born here, I have grown here, I have gone through many challenges that women go through. So I said, why don't I go home and try to impart some of the skills that I have known, especially skills on how to advocate for yourself as an African woman. African women have many issues that they have to deal with, ranging from domestic violence. Some of them are living FGM, some of them are so poor, and just making them realize that these things are doable, that if they know how to advocate for themselves, how to advocate for their, for the policies, how to hold leaders accountable, I think that the country can change. So that's why I'm doing this work. That's my career. My belief is that using the skills that I've gained may be able to help empower women in Kenya. Hope Foundation for African Women was started in 2011. That is the year I came from the US. I came here specifically to do advocacy work. In fact, I left my family in the US. My starting FGM is a goal I have had for so long. Even when I was doing my studies in the US, I always hoped I will come back to the country and do something that can impact on women. Coming from that place where I am trying to work on issues that have impacted on me as a woman. So we started the organization in 2011, literally with nothing in our hands. The office is in my house. The organization's goal, or let me call it mission, is to do economic empowerment for women, but also to advocate for human rights and reproductive health for women. We come from this place where we believe that every single person, even if they are ordinary women in the village, they have power to transform their lives. And that is the power that we want to unveil. The community received the organization very well. Just to backtrack a little bit, this organization came up out of a need. I went to the village and I saw how women were trying to find out if I can help them in one way or another. And I said, I'm not able to help you. Well, I'm not rich. I'm not a rich woman. I'm not wealthy. So I asked them, because I always believe people know their circumstances best. I asked these women, what do you want to do? Many of them were expressing the need to start an economic activity because they want some little money in their pocket. So really that is the background of how we started. Originally we had Grace Fund, which was to bring women together so that they can start figuring out how to get funds by themselves in order for them to use it for making their own economic activities. So that's how it started. But then later on now, when I came back in 2011, we said, let's take this to another level. this can't be just a woman organization in the village. It can be a national organization. So we now figured out how to expand it. In Kisii, we did economic activities including keeping animals, making bricks. Women were also selling cereals. And later on, I figured out that we could get interest-free loans from KIFA program, which is a micro-lending organization that we write a woman's story, what her challenges are, what her business is, and what she really wants to do with the money, which is interest-free. And then we send her story to the world. And the well-wishers around the world are able to raise money for this woman, and then they send the money to her. Through M-Pesa, we don't touch that money. It just goes straight to the women. These are interest-free loans of 10,000, 20,000, 30,000. So that's how we started. But then we noticed that we can't just give women access to loans without empowering their mind. They need to know their rights, women's rights, and then they need to know that they can advocate for themselves, because change comes from within, and the change comes when people are aware of their rights. I really believe from inside of me that every woman deserves to live a decent life. When you look around and see women who are abused, but the system it's not even ready to help them, because they don't understand the challenges or the issues women face. So part of it is because I have passion for it, but also for me to realize that whenever you impart this information to another person and you see change happening right in front of you, I think that is very inspiring. So we need this information to spread across Kenya so that a lot of people can know, a lot of women especially, and the men, because us, when we talk of gender issues, we are not just talking about women. We are also talking about the boy child and the man. We have men who are alcoholics, for example. We have men who are so poor who need these microfinances. So it is a program which should be empowering both men and women. We like that the leadership is seeing the importance of this program and that it is participating.